So today, we need to break down a recruiting battle that personally I think is going to end up being one of the most fun, entertaining recruiting battles we get during the entire 2024 cycle. And we're talking about the #1 inside linebacker in the nation out the state of Georgia, 5-star prospect Sammy Brown. Not only the #1 inside linebacker in the nation, but a top 15 player in a recruiting class absolutely loaded with talent. Now, here recently an article came out stating that Sammy Brown's going to be taking a spring visit to the Oklahoma Sooners, something we have got to break down. But before we can break all of this down, y'all know the drill. I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Do you believe Brent Venables and the Oklahoma Sooners can get a big win for Sammy Brown? Let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed this content, be sure to like and comment down below. Those interactions seem small, but they are massive to content creators such as myself, and both getting picked up and maintained by the YouTube algorithm, and we're on a push to 20,000 subscribers. I'd love to have you part of this unbelievable community. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And as I stated in the intro, Brent Venables and the Oklahoma Sooners are an institution set to receive a spring visit from the coveted 5-star prospect. However, that does not mean that this is a done deal, because Sammy Brown is also being courted by the likes of the Clemson Tigers, the Georgia Bulldogs, the Ohio State Buckeyes, and the Alabama Crimson Tide. So when you look, really, it's your normal players at work for one of the most gifted prospects in the class of 2024. And one thing we need to understand when it comes to Sammy Brown, not only does he have a long-standing relationship with the Georgia Bulldogs because he lives a hop, skip, and a jump away from campus, he's got a long-standing relationship with Clemson, and by extension, a long-standing relationship with Brent Venables. And whenever we're talking about recruiting, there are several factors I can give you. Development, whether or not your program is in a good place, but relationships remain at the forefront of that list. If you're an institution that's able to cultivate positive relationships, you're much more likely to get in positive recruiting results. And for Georgia, for Clemson, for Brent Venables and the Oklahoma Sooners, you love that you have this long-standing relationship. So, how is this battle going to go down? We have the announcement that Sammy Brown is going to be taking a visit to the Oklahoma Sooners, somewhere where he has not yet been. He has not stepped foot on campus at Norman yet. So, if you're an Oklahoma fan, you have got to be over the moon that you get in Sammy Brown for a visit. What better way to start getting the ball rolling on this battle than by getting him on campus? He already has a relationship with Todd Bates. He already has a relationship with Ted Roof. Of course, he already has a relationship with Brent Venables. That goes without saying, but now you get him on campus. You get him acquainted to Norman. You get him acquainted to the university. You get him acquainted to who his teammates could be, and you see how this works out. But for the Oklahoma Sooners, that long-standing relationship with Brent Venables is something that could prove to be very powerful. However, we also need to talk about the flip side of this, because as powerful as his relationship may be with Brent Venables, it's almost a double-edged sword. Because whenever he was really cultivating that relationship, Brent Venables was the defensive coordinator at Clemson. And so while he would increase the relationship with Brent Venables, so too would he increase the relationship with other staffers on that Clemson Tigers staff, including Dabo Swinney. And Dabo Swinney is still there. That Clemson staff is still real strong on the recruiting trail. And look, we can talk about Clemson having a down year this year. They were 11-3. For almost every institution in the nation, they would trade their results this past year to be Clemson on a down year. So the Tigers are one of those institutions that, like I talked about just a few seconds ago, not only do they cultivate positive relationships, but they give you results. Double whammy. That's what you ultimately aim to get to when you're trying to build a program in college football. You need to be able to recruit at a high level. You need to be able to give high-level results. But, you know, we've talked about Clemson and the relationships they've been able to establish with Sammy Brown and how positive that's been. What about Georgia? Georgia's right in his backyard. And this is something I talked about on the live stream last night whenever we broke down this live. If Sammy Brown doesn't plan a spring visit to Georgia, do not be alarmed. And the reason is, he can go see the Georgia Bulldogs campus anytime he pleases. I can't wait to hear from all of you. Hop down to the comments, let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.